What up, man? This is your boy, Super Mario, man. You are in the Yo with your boy, man. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite three features in the new update of Reason 13.1. Yes, Reason Studios just released a new update I think on Monday, and it was pretty shocking. You know what I'm saying? I kind of knew it was coming, just didn't know it was coming this early. I thought it was going to come at the end of the month. But, you know what I'm saying, they had definitely have added a couple of new player devices and a lot of workflow enhancement and browser enhancements as well. That I think is very suited. And so I had to give this particular update a B out of A through F, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna talk about my three favorite feature updates in 13.1 and how I will be utilizing them in my productions and everything like that. So I've been kind of making a slow transition into Reason Studios. I think I made up my mind. I've been kind of battling this all of 2024. Should I stay with Ableton Live? Should I stay with Reason? And I paid for the whole suite of Ableton Live, and it's just really for what they're charging you for. I don't know. I just feel like the worth of Ableton Live is not that much because the stock sounds, they suck. Some of the devices are really cool, but I noticed like once they start adding a lot of different things in there, you know what I'm saying, the performance started coming down. You know what I'm saying, it wasn't as efficient as it was 2 or 3 years ago and stuff like that. And not to mention, man, Ableton Live is becoming a trendy DAW, and a lot of people are using it because this celebrity is using it, or this producer or this artist is using it and stuff like that. And really, to be honest with you, Ableton Live works just as well as any other DAW. But Reason is where the heart at, and you know, that's just, you know, what I'm going to be doing going into 2025, man. But nevertheless, though, man, that was just a little side story or whatnot. We're going to get into my favorite three features in this particular update 13.1. Let's go ahead and get in Reason and talk about them. All right, here we are. We are here in Reason 13.1, man. Now, you can go on the website and find out and read the release notes and look at all of the videos and everything like that. You'll know what's new that's added and everything like that. Of course, I can just tell you right now, the new thing that they added was the note tool and the random tool. The random tool is cool, you know what I'm saying, but it's like you can get some other random stuff manually or use other different plugins, so that's why I didn't feature it as a favorite for me. But what's a favorite for me is a nice writing tool. So if you're into MIDI composition and really kind of doing your thing on MIDI production and arrangement and playing and everything like that, the note tool is for you, man. Now, a cool way, which was a part of the update, a cool way to add any player now in the 13.1 update is to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, click on your instrument of choice, whether it's an NNXT or a third-party instrument like Contact. We're going to go ahead and hit this plus button above the instrument, and that will enable you to bring up any player device that you want. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Note Tool, and it's going to add it, automatically connect it for you, and you should be good to go. All right, so you can see right now, it's kind of divided into three sections. You got your filter section for as what notes are going to be triggered. You have your adjustment section for as like how the notes are going to be triggered while playing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a performance type adjustment and everything like that. And then this section right here, in and out, is just basically going to display the MIDI information. You know what I'm saying? What MIDI note it is on, and how what is the value of the velocity of the MIDI note that you're playing and stuff like that. That's basically what it is. And then you have these different modes, so you can throw the adjustment before the filter range. So you know what I'm saying, if you want to make all of your adjustments as far as pitch, octave, and velocity and everything like that, note length, restriction of the polyphony, and also chord holding, you can throw that in the front, and then, you know what I'm saying, filter out your octaves later, however you want it, however you feel. You feel me? Or with some CB routing on the back side of the rack, You know what I'm saying? You can route this all kind of different ways. I highly recommend you going on the Reason Studios YouTube page and checking that cool demonstration out. You can choose the filter, adjust split, and you can split some of this stuff and have the filter section working on two different instruments. It's really, really cool, man. It's always with Reason Studios, they make everything so complex but yet simple. All right, but we're gonna just talk about the simple stuff, man. Filter to adjust on the mode. All right, let's get it, man. Now, what you can do is really, really cool, man. Not only any changes that you can make on the note tool, you can save it as a patch, which is awesome, man. If you go here, you do have some patches. You can have different velocity patches. You can have different drum type velocity note patches, everything like that. You already have preloaded patches in there, so you can kind of see what it's doing and whatnot, man. But you really don't need the patches. Make your own shit. You feel what I'm saying? Excuse my language. But make your own stuff, man, and everything like that. So let's talk about the filter section. So pitch range. All right, so let me explain what the pitch range is. Basically, sometimes you will have a rumpler, or a lot of times with a contact player, you have a contact player that is, let's say for instance, you're working on a 49 key keyboard, and then you want to play around, and then with a contact player like this one that may have some other notes that are assigned to do certain things and certain functions in the library, you don't want to trigger those notes. You just want to trigger the notes that are actually playing, and you know, saying not mess anything up during your performance or anything like that. That's what the pitch range is going to do. Now, I'm gonna give you a very, very good example of this. All right, so I'm playing this guitar, and you can see right here in the notes, the keys and whatnot. That's all the notes below C2. In essence, if I'm playing this guitar contact library, I'm not gonna play this low. I'm gonna play from C2 all the way up to C4. I'm gonna play all of that right there, and I don't want to trigger anything else. So if I go and I play all of that, I just don't want to, you know what I'm saying, I just want to be focused on 2 octaves. You could do that. All right, cool. So let me show you. I'm gonna drag that down here, right here, right? All right, so what we're gonna do, because we know C2 is gonna be our beginning octave, we're gonna go ahead and just slide this to C2, okay? And then we know C4 is gonna be our ending octave. Anything above C4, we ain't worried about it. We're gonna bring that down to C4. All right, there we go, right there. So in between this little blue arrow and that blue arrow right there, everything in between that we can play. All right, so check this out. You see those little, I'm just pressing notes, but that's everything in that 2 octaves. But then you see these red lines? That's like everything in the 1 octave, like C1 through C1 through B1. Okay, so if you play below, or even if you play above, and well, actually it's only 1 note above, you won't be able to play that note above, or if the contact library would allow me to play anything above that, it'll show a red line too. So it just really keeps you focused in between those 2 octaves of whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to play A, and it won't let me play A. Stuff like that, because it's red, and I keep holding down A, and it's showing me that it's red. So this is what I like to call a great writing tool. All right, now we can take it a step further. Now sometimes with your velocity, everybody has a different playing style when they're playing. You may have you may be a heavy-handed person. You may be a light-handed person. You may have big fingers that just press down hard. You may have soft fingers, and you do this right here. Well, this is what the velocity range will allow you to do. If you're a heavy-handed person and you play hard like this, look at how tall those blue lines are. You're definitely hitting 127. Okay, and you can even see our last note was at 122 on the velocity. And this is another section that is definitely display your MIDI information. You You know what I'm saying? So that last note registered at 73 velocity on D3 or whatever the case may be. Now, if you want to control yourself and not play so heavy, really train yourself to play very smooth on the guitars. You see what I'm saying? You could definitely bring this down. So we're going to bring this down to about 100, okay? So any MIDI note that goes past this blue note, it will not trigger. And you will see a red line in between your pitch range, okay? So regardless if you got your pitch range, you know what I'm saying, program, you'll notice when we play a little bit softer, you see what I'm saying? Like we can't play all crazy on the keys. It's allowing us and it's controlling us as our performance, not to trigger those notes. And same thing, it works backwards. If you had it all the way up to 127 and you're a very, very light player, you'll notice that I'm playing very light on the keys, and it's gonna force me to do that. Now, this will work great like if you were programming drums, and you know how sometimes you just want that drum to be hitting pop, 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 and stuff like that. And sometimes when you play like a double note on the, let's say, a kick drum, like a boom boom boom, you may want that kick drum to be like boom 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 and not boom 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 and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying, you can actually have this up and it'll train you to play that note real high. So it's, again, you know what I'm saying, you'll find your way to utilize the velocity range, but I just want to, you know, give a little demonstration on that or whatnot. Now, for the adjustment, what I'm gonna do is just reset this all the way down. We're just gonna get our full playing scale and also our full velocity scale as well. And we're gonna go ahead and move on to the adjustment. All right, so the adjust section is really cool. I think it's better than the filter section. You may need all those MIDI notes and velocities and stuff like that on the filter section, but you'll probably be using the adjust section a little bit more than the filter section. The reason why is because of this right here. Let's say, for instance, you have a 25 key keyboard, very basic. You probably got it off of Amazon for like $20, and it doesn't come with any advanced features. And let's say, for instance, you want to transpose. So right now we're going to play, and just pay attention very so often to the in and out display meter of our MIDI information. So let's say, for instance, you're playing melodic minor. That's C3. That's C2. Okay. Now let's say you want to, you know, play in the key of F. All right. So you'll take your C2 and you'll move it 5 steps up. Okay. And look at this. So our original trigger from our keyboard is on a C2. But now the tone from the contact library and by way of transposing the pitch section right here, it's playing a F, and it's showing you that it just turned the MIDI information from the controller and pitched it up 5 steps, and it's going to trigger the contact 7 to recognize it being played as an F. So if you don't have a transpose button on your MIDI controller, this is a good way to use the pitch section to kind of like transpose your keyboard if it just has basic keys, nothing else. It's just a plastic, you know what I'm saying, rectangle situation with white and black keys. That's it. Well, you could transpose now super easy. You don't have to pull up or play the notes out and then highlight all the notes and bring them down, drag them up, all that. Nah, you ain't got to do all that no more. Just load up the note tool. If you want to play in F, if you want to bring it back down and go back to C. Okay, if you want to bring it down some more, and let's say, okay, that is A sharp. All right, and let's bring it all the way down to 24. Okay, we ain't playing that right there. Let's bring it down to -9. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we ran out of notes on the contact library, but that is D sharp on the lower octave and everything like that. Okay, so that's basically what the pitch is doing. You could do offset or fix. You have that option to do so, or whatnot, and everything like that. Now you can leave this on or you can turn it off however you want it, however you feel. Another great option, if you don't have an octave button on your keyboard controller as well, is you can switch things up an octave. So let's say, for instance, I don't know if they even make a keyboard that is one octave, but if you do have one octave keyboard controller out there, or a 25 key keyboard controller with no controls, no way of changing the octave, it's just keys, white keys and black keys, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can also use the note tool to change octaves. So we're in the key of C. We're going to bring that down an octave. Oh, I had to go up one. Actually, let's go up an octave. Okay, so we went up an octave from C3. And I'm just using the same. Just to show you guys what I'm doing here, I'm going to navigate the camera down to my keyboard right here. All right. And going to show you guys. Okay, we're going to move that up an octave, go in the same place. Take it up one more. Really, really cool, man. Really, really cool. So you can move this however you want, and you can just play in one octave. So like I said, there's a keyboard out there that exists in one octave. You can do your thing. Stuff like that. You may have to do some automation, but you can definitely do your thing, and you can change your octaves if need be. All right, cool deal, man. Just kind of wanted to, you know what I'm saying, put that out there to the masses and everything. All right, cool. All right, next thing we want to cover is the velocity section. Now, this is my section right here. All right, so a lot of times I may want to play a chord, right? Okay. Now you hear we hitting those chords very hard, and you may have to change your adjustment. And that just takes some restriction off of the flow and the vibe of what you're doing. Well, no fear, no fear. This is a really, really cool situation. You can actually bring down this little XY pad here. And let's say you want to be a little bit soft and you want more of a softer keystroke. So you can kind of bend this ladder. If you need a harder keystroke, you can bend it up. If you need a softer keystroke, you can kind of bend it down. So now when I hit those chords again, you see how so sexy that guitar sound now? Now, if I turn this off, now check this out. And I'm gonna show you guys my fingers, just so you know what I'm saying, I don't lie to you guys or whatever the case may be, or whatnot. But let's go ahead and bring this down. All right, cool. So watch this. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and enable that velocity, and notice how the keyboard, or should I say the sound of the guitar, is gonna be a little bit more sexy. Bring it down a little bit more. All right, and we can bring it down a little bit more. And I'm pressing on it real hard. I'm really hurting my fingers or whatnot, man. And what the offset is doing is just basically, you know what I'm saying, restricting the performance to be so hammer like, you feel what I'm saying, and really kind of make it smooth and elegant. Now you can bring this all the way back to up to 127, but what it'll do is if we bend this very, very soft, certain keystrokes that you're kind of pressing down on and stuff like that, it'll actually have a very smooth or a very legato type of performance. So sometimes you'll hit hard. It just depends on how it's going to register that trigger. So if you're really kind of playing some jazz type of stuff, so all right, cool deal. So, you know what I'm saying? This little situation, this little feng shui really kind of make you, you know what I'm saying, sound like an old sexy guitarist. You feel me? Stuff like that. So, definitely, it's a one up for us, like, you know what I'm saying, how you will be able to play that, man. It's a very great writing tool, like I said. Again, you could offset this. And you could, so offsetting it is kind of like this. If we have this down all the way down at the 50 and stuff like that, we could offset it. And if we need to come up a little bit, because we can want to keep it, we may want to keep it at 57 to have that soft playing. If you need to cheat a little bit, you just bring it up, you know what I'm saying, 10 steps. And it's basically going to trigger some of those notes to be at 67 or whatnot. Again, you know what I'm saying, if you're really like a beat maker and you're laying down a lot of melodic parts, the velocity tool is hot. It's going to be a very, very good situation. And you don't have to go in there and edit all those MIDI notes. I just kind of want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and play something real quick. All right, let's go ahead and go to the sequencer real quick. All right, cool. We added that in there. Now, most of the time you will have this right here. And you'll have to highlight all the notes, then go here to the velocity, and then kind of like trim out the randomization, or, you know, highlight some of those notes right there. Do this right here, randomize that. Or bring it down a little bit. And you just really have to kind of play with it. You see what I'm saying? And that sometimes you just don't want to do all of that, and it takes away from the timing and everything like that. And I'm trying to, you know, get this back to what it was. All right, so that is the original state and everything like that. And what you can do now is just basically, you know what I'm saying, go here and hit play. So that's the original performance, all the fingers or whatever. See how simple that is? And we done. We got like a nice little guitar playing part. See what I'm saying? Like, fucking awesome. I like that, man. I'm digging that right there. And you again, you can just play around with that adjustment of that situation. What another thing is real cool about that is you have this note length. This is real cool. Just depends on what instrument you're using. So let's say, for instance, you want to play the note and have it note length real good. So the note length, what it's going to do is, in essence, what it's going to do is take this these notes and kind of stretch them out fakely. You won't be able to. So let's say, for instance, you want to elongate these notes and make them stretch out like that. Well, what the note tool is going to do is eliminate that for you. So really, when you're playing and everything like that, Now you can play a quarter length note. So instead of holding it down and every time you hit your finger down, and I'm gonna show you guys here, if I hit one of these buttons right here, so it's playing it a quarter inch long. You see how I'm just tapping it real quick? Okay, so if I go all the way down to a whole measure, so you can kind of create, you know what I'm saying, ambient type of vibes, which is really, really cool, man. If you need to kind of shorten it up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's going to do its thing. But it probably will suit you and benefit you if you start going like, you know what I'm saying, 1/4, a half, and a whole measure and everything like that. But it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do some chill out type of ambient vibes of production and stuff like that, that'll definitely work out for you for us, the note length. So you can kind of check that out. You can also do minimum, you could do the max, or you could do fixed, or whatever the case may be. Restrict polyphonic is really, really cool. You may have some synths in there that, you know what I'm saying, every time you play more notes, it'll use up more PC power, or whatnot. So this is really cool. We're gonna turn it off. So let's say I'm gonna do a chord with this guitar. Okay, I got 7 fingers down. 7 fingers. But I want to restrict those notes to, let's say, 3 notes being played at one time. So check this out. We're only playing 3 notes. We're trying to add other notes in there. We can only do 3 notes at a time. That's what restrict poly means. You can only do 3 notes at a time. If you want to up it to 4, then you can do 4 notes at a time. I'm trying to do that 5th note and it won't let me. Okay. And you could do it all the way up to 12. So if you need to do 12, I ain't got 12 fingers, but you could do that. You know what I'm saying? So the restrictions go all the way up to 16, and then it goes all the way down to 1. So if you're a 1 finger type of person, you know, you probably would keep it somewhere around about like 3 or 7 or 8 or whatever the case may be. But it's there if you need it. If you have some synth instruments that just using way too much CPU because you're playing different chords, where you can restrict that and only hold it down to 3, and you should be good to go. So it's there if you need it. All right. Now this one is really, really cool. It's very unique. It's called chord hold. Okay. So what you'll do is you can go here, click on the word chord, and you can do hold all. You can do latch, or you can do chord until the last release. I found that latch works really well and it makes sense. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I play like a 3-finger chord. And this is real good teaching stuff. So you could teach yourself how to play chords. And you can listen to that chord and think about the next chord move you want to do. Or make something real smooth. And it's going to latch on until you press another note. And it does that with any type of chord that you play, whether it's a wrong note or not. So it'll really kind of teach you how to right chords. I think you know what I'm saying, for me, I think this is really, really dope or whatnot. So the cool thing about the gray section right here, this for me is kind of like a MIDI tuner. Okay, so as I was explaining with the pitch, now let's say you do have a keyboard controller that you can make octave adjustments and also transposition adjustments. I'm gonna go ahead and play C3. Okay, right here. I'm gonna play let's play this C3 right here. All right, now on my keyboard, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna transpose this down 2 steps, and now I'm gonna transpose this down another 2 steps, and you can see my in and out MIDI information is basically giving me what it should be as far as what I'm hearing. And if I transpose it back to 0 on my keyboard, and we're back to C3. So you know how you have like audio tuners where you can or you're singing if you're flat or if you're sharp. This basically is gonna let you know where you're at and if you're playing in the right key. You may have gotten a loop and it says A sharp minor. Okay, you need to be in A sharp. Okay, if you don't know all your scales and everything, this will help you with music theory. So if you only know how to play the C scale, then you can transpose and find A sharp. So that's the A sharp scale right there, or should I say A sharp major scale, or whatnot. So that's how you can utilize the in and out MIDI information by way of just keeping yourself in key at any time, man. So that is the player right there. I think it's pretty dope. And any changes that you make and you feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're going to keep it that way, you can definitely save those patches. So let's say, for instance, you love the way on this particular guitar, and you love the way you play at 67 with a bent, you know what I'm saying, very soft keystroke, and everything like that, and you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, play underneath a certain velocity, and also too, you want to restrict some polyphonic notes to only 3 notes playing at a time with the note length at a half measure and stuff like that. You can go ahead and save that patch. Boom, right there. Save it to whatever you want to save it, and it's in your user library as far as your patches is concerned, man. So for me, I think the note tool is a really, really good tool, very good writing tool as far as MIDI composition is concerned. That's why I pick it for my #1 favorite, and I know I done spent a lot of time on it, but I think it's very valuable to understand what the note tool is doing. We're gonna go ahead and run through my second, or should I say my other 2 features really, really quick. All right, so with the note tool information out of the way, and I know that took a little while and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to show you guys how I'll be utilizing that note tool player. I think it's really dope, man. But we're gonna focus on some browser window enhancements as far as tagging and adding favorites to your patches and everything like that. So to kind of break it down, how I like to use the browser window is I like to tag and favorite things. If I find a patch or a folder, I want to favorite that, and I want to be able to find tags or whatever the case may be. And they made this really, really, they made it a little bit better as far as the enhancement is concerned. It's not really a new feature, but it's an enhancement. Okay, so we in an NXT device. I got a keyboard sound pulled up. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get rid of this keyboard tag that I had typed in earlier. All right. Now I can go to instrument patches here, which is gonna come from the default. Okay, or we can go to NNXT specific patches or whatever the case may be. However we want it, however we feel. We're just gonna stick with the NNXT sampler patches. So what I'm gonna do is type in guitar. Okay. Once I type in the keyword guitar, what it's gonna do is kind of give you like a cascade of locations far as like inside of the refill or inside of the subcategory folders or whatever the case may be. And then I'm gonna hit enter, and that's any guitar in any location. You see what I'm saying? So let's say, for instance, I go to the Reason library and we hit that down, and that's all the guitar instruments we have there. If I go to sound packs, it won't let me search sound packs. Okay, cool. Sound song samples, NXT home folder. user libraries, and all locations. So that's all locations if you want to search the entire location. It'll take a while, but all your locations that are listed here in the sidebar right here. But we're going to search my Reason Refill folder. And these are all guitars that have the drop down arrows and everything like that. So if it has a drop down arrow, there's a guitar in here. So let's say, for instance, I go to this Korg M3 refill and I type in dirty guitar. That's a guitar sound. See what I'm saying? I can go back here. It's going to retain that same keyword. And if I want to go up and search another guitar sound outside of Korg M3, we still have our keyword guitar in the search box. And let's say, for instance, I want to go underneath the Sonic Refills folder and instruments of the 60s and the 70s. This vintage guitar folder, and we'll see we have a lot of different guitar sounds in here for as patches is concerned. In NXT patches, we'll choose this AC30 Strat P. Click on that. Guitar. Okay, cool. Turn that volume up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of, you know what I'm saying, adding stuff or whatnot. So that was the search situation. If I wanted to, let's say, for instance, and it's going to make sense, okay? I'm going to go ahead and add a effect device. And we're going to choose screen distortion here just for example. So let's say, for instance, I like that particular guitar patch that I was on. What I could do now is right click on that NXT patch. Then I can add it to any category tag, user tag if I want. So let's say, for instance, I want to add it to my favorites list that I have over here. So everything guitar in my favorites list, I can add it there. Right click on it again. I can add a tag to it. So if I like that patch really, really good and it's kind of like a dirty type of sound, I can go ahead and add it to dirty. If I know it's lo-fi-ish, you know what I'm saying, or organic, I can add it to organic and so forth and so on. Now you can create your own user tags in here as well. And you can assign a new user tag. So if I want to assign a new user tag, let's say, for instance, let's do I'm gonna do blues, for example. Okay, we'll do blues, and then if I right click on that, go to user tag, I can have it to blues. And now if I type in blues up here, you know what I'm saying, type in blues and it'll go to my user tag blue. Boom, there it is. It went directly to it and everything like that. Okay, and you can delete tags. So if you created your user tags, you can go ahead and right click on blues tag and delete that tag, and it's not there anymore. Okay, and we can type in guitar once again, hit enter, and we go down. And let's say, for instance, I'm gonna load this one up. Take that thing off of there. It's a fuzz tone. Go back to the thing, and let's say I like that fuzz tone situation. That's a fuzz tone 1. We can go ahead and add that to guitar. And we can add that to, I don't know, our favorites, guitar, so forth and so on. And we hit OK. We're good to go. It's going to update in the background and everything. Let's say, for instance, I add the screen distortion on here. And I did some changes on the screen 4 unit. I can come to this easy fuzz patch. I could either save it or I could do the same thing there. Tag that particular patch and be like, ooh, that was a good patch. I can add that to my user tag guitar and we're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Hit OK. And now anytime I go, let's say, for instance, there, I go to my guitar favorites list right here. Everything that I added to my favorites is going to be there. Anytime, let's say, for instance, I go to user tags and I type in guitar here, you know what I'm saying, and I hit enter, it's gonna be a user tag right there and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So all locations, go to my user tags, boom, there it is. So it's just a different way of, you know what I'm saying, finding your instruments and your sounds and your favorite patches a little bit easier as well and stuff like that. It's still kind of like not streamlined, but it's a whole lot better than it was before they actually, you know what I'm saying, updated the browser window and everything like that. I like this version. A lot of people on different forums and Reddit and YouTube, they don't like the new browser, but I think the new browser is dope. They actually they cleaned up the performance of the browser as well, so you can find your tags a little faster as well, man. And last but not least, and we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. You can do this one feature, man, with the play cursor, and I'm loving it, man. Let me show you. Okay, I just put something together, man. Y'all don't worry about that, man. But what you could do is, if you want to, let's say for instance, take your snap and increase the value to like 1/32, right? Okay, let's bring that down to 16. All right, let's say for instance you want to cut it right here. Instead of you having to go and hit R, get your icon, line it up, and sometimes you see how it doesn't show you a line above the clip, and you have to kind of chance it a little bit, and you cut here, you cut there, you cut there, you cut there, and it's really kind of like you don't know what the hell you're cutting and everything like that. I'm show you guys the easier way. What you can do now is go ahead and just use your arrow tool, take your cursor here, and let's say you want to split it right there. Right click on your clip, and then split clips at song position, or on your keyboard if you're on Windows, Alt X. So you can choose that, and it'll split it right there. You want to split it here? Cool, not a problem. Alt X, boom, not a problem. You want to need to split it there? Boom, like that. You want to split it there? Boom, like that. Audio, for example. Let's create an audio track. Let's pull up the browser. Oh, that's a good one right there. We'll go ahead and import this sound right here, right? We'll go all the way to the beginning, and let's go ahead and zoom in on that waveform. All right, let's say, for instance, I want to go ahead and cut that MIDI, but we want to split this little transient right here. What I'll do is just kind of increase the grid line there and make sure I get right up on it. So right here, I can put it right there, or I could just turn off snap, get right here on that transient, Alt X. Well, make sure your clip is highlighted, Alt X, and bam, there it is. Now, what you could do is drag that transient right there, and you got your one shot. Or you got your one shot over here. So now, if you don't need that, now you have made yourself a kick drum. Yeah, you make your kick drum and stuff like that. So now you can just go ahead and boom, go ahead and copy and paste that and put your snap back on, put that back on 16. Then come here, and now you can put that there, duplicate it one more time, put that there, duplicate it one more time, duplicate it one more time, hit play. Just like that, man. So I really, really, really love just, you can use your play cursor and split the clip like that, almost as if you're video editing. Really, really cool, man. All right, so that is it, man. That is my top 3 favorite features in Reason Studios 13.1. I think it was really, really warranted for its features added into Reason Studios or whatnot. I think they can add more features and stuff like that. What I really want, far as their features is concerned, is I want them to have the ability to drag and drop audio from your Windows Explorer window, or even from the browser window, drag and drop the audio into the sequencer. I think they really need to do that. Drag and drop audio from the browser onto like a Kong pad, and that may be, you know, saying a little difficult for us, like, you know, how the Kong is constructed and everything like that, but at least allow drag and drop audio into the sequencer. That's what I would like to see. And it should be really easy to drag and drop audio onto an audio track without a problem. So you can start, doing some cut and paste and doing some real cool stuff with some loops. I would like to see that in Reason and everything like that. I don't think they have that function just yet, but I tried so many times, and the drag and drop function would be so cool or whatnot. Another feature I would like to see in Reason is if you're using the Mimic sampler, and let's say for instance you load up a loop in there, the loop will adjust to the tempo of the session or the sequence or whatnot. For right now, when you turn the tempo down and you have a loop in the Mimic sampler, it's just gonna stay at that tempo, the original tempo of the audio file that you loaded up in Mimic. I would like to see Mimic sampler adjust to the tempo of the session or the project or the sequence of the whatever you're working on currently. That way you can really do some nasty stuff with the Mimic sampler, because the Mimic sampler is totally awesome, but it not having the ability to adjust to the tempo, unless they updated it in the 13.1 and I don't know about it. But if it hasn't, I would love to see that in the new update in the future or whatnot, expeditiously and stuff like that. But overall though, man, this is a real good workflow enhancement, and I hope it was benefit to you. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite features in this new update, and comment down below, man. And let's chop it up in the comments and everything like that, man. Hey, this has been your boy Super Mario, man, sharing my favorite features with you guys and how I will be using those in this new update right here. If you like this video, go ahead and like, man, and always subscribe to the channel, man. That way you get live updates on all of my uploaded content and also live streams that we do here on this channel, man. Until next time, man, this has been your boy Super Mario, man. Catch you on the next go round. Peace. Stay creative.